Hello, everyone. Now, while I don't normally talk about direct politics, today I do want to touch base upon the current relations between India and Pakistan and how those tensions have spilled directly onto the cricket field. Right now, the two countries are in a state of open conflict. India has declared that Operation Sindoor is still ongoing. And that in itself means that the two nations are still officially at war. And yet, even in the middle of this political and military hostility, cricket matches are still being played. Does that make sense? Especially when both sides appear not to be sensible, pragmatic, and compromising, but instead are being stubborn, emotional, and seem intent on bringing politics into the cricket grounds. Now, let's be clear. Cricket is supposed to unite, it's supposed to inspire, and it's supposed to set an example for fans across the globe. It's not just about batting and bowling and fielding, it's much, much more than that. But what we've seen recently at the Asia Cup has been nothing short of a complete circus and a travesty and a shame. Instead of bringing people together, cricket is being torn apart by the ugly political overtones, the hostile rhetoric, and the bad behavior of players and administrators on both sides, and the media. Bad behavior. The entire sporting world is watching this. And the message being sent is terrible, to say the least. Cricket is becoming a laughing stock. Fans who look to their heroes for dignity, sportsmanship, and leadership are being misled by the very people they admire and follow. The tweets from politicians, the press, conferences with captains, and the commentary from so-called legends of the game have all been nothing but divisive, inflammatory, and completely unacceptable. And so, here is my own personal position. Look, until and unless there is some kind of normalization in political relations between the two sides, there should be no sporting ties whatsoever between the two countries because they can't handle it. They're not mature enough to handle it. They can only take one position at a time. So there should be no sporting ties, none whatsoever. Look, I have always maintained that politics should not mix with sport. Sport stands for teamwork, unity, health, fair play, and inspiration. Politics is a completely different animal and in many ways opposes the values of sport. What we are witnessing now is not politics staying out of sport. It is politics being deliberately injected into sport and the game of cricket being used as a tool for political point scoring. Can't you see that? Now this cannot continue and this should not continue. Administrators seem to have completely failed. Players have also failed in showing maturity. Governments have failed in showing restraint. And the media, believe me, has fanned the flames further. They are also responsible and to blame to a large extent as to what's happening. The result? Look, cricket between India and Pakistan is no longer a celebration of cricket. It has become a battlefield where emotions are running high. And this is not the example that we should be setting. This is not the message we should be sending to millions of fans, especially the younger generation who are supposed to learn about respect, discipline, and fair play from this game. Therefore, there should be no more cricket between India and Pakistan for the foreseeable future. ICC events, non-ICC events, forget it. Unless both countries come to the table, normalize their sporting relations, and commit, I think, in writing, formally and publicly, that sports and politics should not be mixed. Until then, all sporting ties should be frozen. Because, look, to be honest, at this point, continuing to play cricket under these circumstances is worse than not playing at all. Cricket deserves better. Fans deserve better. And the sport as a whole deserves better. This circus must stop. These shenanigans must stop. And administrators on both sides need to act responsibly before cricket loses its very meaning. Anyway, that's all from me today. Look, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree that cricket between India and Pakistan should stop until there is normalization of relations? Or do you think that cricket must continue primarily for money and money only, and that everything else, including bad behavior, is secondary and it doesn't matter? Let me know. Till next time.